Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm just going to tell you some information about the reserve and where the river starts, a little bit more about the reserve's history, where the river starts and where it ends. When the first year came to start feeding the ducks, and also what year the reserve was created. So let's first start off with firstly the river. It starts as a spring near Rackerton and Gateshead, and it flows east for a couple of miles, and then it heads north, and then that's when it starts to come towards like Bolden, and then from there the river it comes through Bolden, and it goes through Cove Close, Headworth, even parts of Heaven it's come through before that, before it got to Bolden, and then eventually it'll come through Cove Close, and it'll come through here into the Primrose Nature Reserve. The terrain and the pathways up there, you can walk most of the river, and the river is 3.7 miles long, sorry, if you followed the whole way along. But if you didn't follow, the course of the river all the way along, it's 6 miles following footpaths. So the terrain's quite nice, and there's quite a few pathways along the river. There's a few places like in the Don, like Stationburn at Bolden, Brockley Winds Metro. You've got a few little places like that. You've got places near the railroad tracks, near the tile sheds. Like the Don comes right through there all the way to here. And it's, like I said, it's 3.7 miles long, and it separates the border between Gateshead and Sunderland as well. That's a good little fact for you guys. And it comes through here, comes through the reserve, and then it also ends up going through Jarrow, back down all the way down to Beadsworld, and then it ends it and it merges into the River Tyne, and that's where the Don starts and ends, guys. And another thing I was going to say is, when I first started coming here, there was a mandarin duck in 2010, and I was looking online what people were saying on the comments about over the years what types of birds have been here. But there was a mandarin duck in 2010. I seen him when I first started coming here. And he was here for maybe a few days, and then he disappeared. And I'll put a picture of the mandarin in this video towards the end. We'll see what he looks like. Also, we've had Coco the coot today. She was very tame. You'll see little clips of her as well today in this video. She's very tame now. She comes over. And also, when I first started coming here, as you can see before, the signs were nice and clean. But as you seen the start of the video, guys, the sign, I need to talk to the council and try to get a new sign, because it's been many years where nothing's happened, and we need a few more bins and stuff around here as well. So I'm not going to try and talk about stuff like that with them. Hopefully it happens. But back to the river and the reserve again. The reserve was created in 1990, and it was just a series of ponds and ditches next to the river. But when the reserve was made, it was made to be connected to the river. So now the river flows through the reserve. This pond is part of the River Don. And all this here, all these trees weren't grown properly back then in 1990, so it was mainly just pondland and marshland, and very flat and open in the pond. And all this was just pond all the way around. The back end was pond. You had swans here, geese, all sorts. You had obviously, I've mentioned in previous videos, you had like a walkway up here. There's also a picture from 2005 with the top of the hill up there. Someone was standing up there and they took a picture of the pond, and all this wasn't here. It was just like the bush there in the middle was tiny. You had like a massive pond, and there was, by the looks of it, there was a couple of geese on the pond on the picture if you zoomed in. And I'll find that again, I'll show you. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just talk about the reserve history and stuff like that, and yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Bye.